Bioshock, a game no two players can play the same way twice.
Hey bro, heading out?
I'm just gonna explore New York a little bit.
Well, be careful out there. Them streets are crazy.
Oh bro, what's the worst that could happen out here?
No trespass. Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. You my gun.
Is it someone new?
Big S, next game review?
Yeah, think so.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast, talk about different anime, manga, video games, TV shows, every relevant topic if I'm talking about. Today's video is on one of my favorite games of all time, Bioshock. Now, before we begin, would you kind of get that like button to like, and would you subscribe to the channel? It helps me out. Would you kindly? That's a phrase that you're going to get used to. And if you haven't heard of it before, you're going to hear about it a lot in this game. But before we get into that, when I do my game reviews, I talk about my relationship with the game. Overall, if I have like a past relationship with the game. And so my relationship with the Bioshock series is I played this game, I want to say back when I was like 12, 14, somewhere like my early teens. And I don't know what it was that made me pick it up. But I remember I was like, okay, I think on the cover it showed the plasma powers, it was showing electricity, it was showing horror, and then the Big Daddy and Little Sisters, the most iconic characters probably in all of gaming, or maybe not all of gaming. Kratos is up there, Ratchet and Clank, Mario, obviously Sonic, but they are among the iconic characters that exist. And I remember playing it. It was dark, I had no idea what the game was, and there was so much of this game that scared me, but in a good way. Kind of like that, your teenage years watching Nightmare on Elm Street, watching Freddy vs. Jason, watching the Friday the 13th movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. It gave me that kind of vibes, and that's the whole game. It's like a whole creep factor. And so as I go through the story, as I go through the gameplay, I'll even try to clip in scenes that scared me as a kid, and I played this game a lot. This game has so much replay value, and the reason why is because when I beat it the first time as a kid, I kind of did an evil playthrough. I mean, going back to my infamous title, this game has a karma system. We're going to get into that too. But, this karmic system makes you think choosing the darker option is better, and in a way it sort of is. But as I did my second playthrough, I realized there wasn't much of a difference. But this is the first game I can say for sure that all of your choices matter, but there are certain choices especially the freedom to actually explore. Well, I talked about all that in the video, so I guess I should just stick to my relationship. But this is all involving my relationship. The reason why I played it so much, the reason why I played this game so much is because, yes, you can go technically anywhere, anytime in Bioshock. There are areas that are closed off because you need a certain ability or something like that, like fire to melt the ice, or like telekinesis to shoot something back at an enemy. But for the most part, you can go anywhere and you can't get lost. Anytime you don't know where to go, there is this arrow above your head that's like, hey, this is the right direction, but you don't have to go that way. It's what Pokemon wanted to be, but Pokemon didn't do it until later games. I think Scarlet and Violet, where you can now go wherever you want, face any gym you want anytime. But yes, and there are even certain plasmids and gene tonics that you won't find following the story. You have to feel free to explore. There are even certain enemy types that you don't have to fight and you can ignore. But again, we'll get all into that whenever we talk about the gameplay. So for now, let's get into the story. Imagine your entire life is based off a single phrase. Would you kindly? But before we get into that, let's talk about this opening amazing game. Words today. Let's talk about this awesome opening sequence. You were just on a plane, going home, possibly on an adventure. You're looking at a family of your deceased family, or maybe they're alive. We don't really know. But or maybe you moved out, and you're like, hey, I'm on my own now. The next thing you know, the plane explodes. You're drowning in the ocean, and you can see the plane sinking deeper into the sea. How fucking horrifying would that be? What a start to the game, first of all. But anyways, there are no other survivors. You reach the surface of the water, only to find out it's covered in flames. And the only safety is this tall building in the distance. This tall, ominous building with a lighthouse on it. It was such a breathtaking and draw-opening scene. I orgasmed at this game the first time I played it, even now, to this day. From the way the sea looks, the water droplets on the screen, the flames, the plane slinking slowly in the distance like the Titanic. You can literally go up to this plane and watch it sink into the ocean. It's so much detail. Obviously, you can't see it once it goes in the water, but we can watch it if you got nothing better to do and just want to watch it disappear. Now, as you make your way into the building and inside, we get our first impressions of one of the main antagonists of this game, but also one of the reasons Bioshock is so memorable, aside from Would You Kindly. A quote on a giant banner reads, "No kings or gods, only man." And just listen to this speech as we enter submarine into Rapture, followed by this beautiful cinematic of what I would call a present-day Atlantis.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
You best get over there. And be quick about it. The Splicers are
It's stunning. I can remember my 14-year-old self watching this for the first time in my sister's apartment at night, just awed. I was like, what is this game? It's so fucking beautiful. I imagine it's like New York style city just underwater, surrounded by whales, fishes, sharks, giant octopus, all outside your apartment window. Like, could you imagine just seeing that view every night? Ugh. And they're going to explain the oxygen at one point later, because I know you're probably wondering, like, how are they breathing down there? They're going to get to that. It's like a living apartment inside of a giant aquarium that's under the sea. Well, I guess I can talk about it now. So they actually grow trees underneath, in this certain area of Rapture, they grow trees that give oxygen all throughout Rapture. And it's done by this, I think it's Dr. Tenenbaum or somebody else. I have the doctor listed whenever we get to that section. But yeah, they have oxygen down there from the trees and plants that are growing down there. Now, with even various advertisements for plasmids, like it's like literally, it looks like New York City. The way like they advertise things and like showing things, commercials and stuff like that. But Ryan had an idea for Rapture. This wasn't just some place for rich people to come live in an underwater scheme. He wanted to escape the ideals of what the world thought he should be. But we're not done with this amazing show don't tell just yet. We get a horrifying introduction to Splicers. Check this out.
Just one more minute. The spear's coming up now. Johnny, security's banging off all over. Get a move on. I didn't mean no trespass. Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. You might cut.
Is it someone new?
Would you kindly pick up that shortwave radio?
This scene terrified me as a kid. This is a scene I was talking about. I was playing this in the dark, late at night, unaware what the game even was, or what it's even about, and this was like the best surprise. This is like the second best opening sequence. But the scene isn't over just yet, as it jumps on top of the submarine, threatening to break inside. Mind you, we ain't learned how to fight yet, we ain't learned how to shoot a gun yet, we ain't learned about plasma yet. I was trembling with the controller in my hands. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What does this thing even look like? What is this weird monster that I don't even know what he looks like up close yet? He's gonna break in and kill my character. Oh my god. But eventually he leaps off into the darkness. He leaps off the submarine into the darkness, and you can still hear him whispering in the darkness. Really adds to, like, again, that creep factor, that dark aesthetic. We are then contacted by Atlas via radio inside of our submarine, who claims he wants to help us. And we got a lot to say about him later. Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
Would you kindly pick up that shortwave radio? I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive. Now keep on moving. We're gonna have to get you to higher ground. Take a deep breath and step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you twisting in the wind.
But for now, he tells us it's safe to exit the submarine. Though this is where you can still hear that splicer singing somewhere in the darkness. Again, really adding to that eerie vibe. You're able to freely explore here for a bit. And the thing I love about Bioshock is you can never get lost. I put this in my notes. I've already talked about this. But you can never get lost because the arrow will always guide you to the correct path. But it gives you the freedom to go anywhere you choose at any time. It's an open world building. It's open world building that Pokemon Wish that I did in its latest games, but Bioshock did like 20 years ago. Some things are narrative driven, yes. There are tonics, plasmids, and various rooms, though, that the story will not guide you to unless you are willing to explore, which I highly recommend. It's why no two players can play the game the same way, because you might go one direction, or you might follow the whole arrow, the whole playthrough like my nephew did. My nephew did not care to explore. I definitely love to explore. As you explore, you can see signs of a previous revolt of some sort, with signs saying, Rapture is dead. Andrew Ryan doesn't own us. We don't know what's happening down here, but we can tell by the way Rapture's in disarray and the way the buildings are falling apart, cracks in the, like giant holes in the ceiling, cracks on the glass, threatening to like submerge us in water, like drown us. Oh my God. Again, just really breathtaking. There is also a Vita chamber here, which I'll explain in more detail about why this mechanic works so well later, because it's a major spoiler. But for now, just know that like in the Prince of Persia 360, when your character is supposed to die, but the princess always saves you no matter how many different ways you're about to die from that corruption. Again, if you played Prince of Persia 360, not Sands of Time, yes, you also can't die, but that's, you control the Sands of Time. You can stop yourself from dying. Otherwise, if you run out of Sands of Time, or you just hit it at the wrong time, the princess is dead. But in that one, the princess saves you no matter how many times you're going to die. So basically, if at any point you ever die in this game against a Splicer or a Big Daddy, you will be auto-revived with full health and even Evo at the nearest Vita chamber you last passed. While the enemies you fight, however, will still have the same health and energy and bullets that they had when you last left that area. It's almost like you're immortal, but again, it's story-driven, and I'll get to that because it's a major reveal later. And also, you're the only one that can use this. Again, very story-driven. Though sometimes throughout Rapture, injured Splicers will run to a health kit to heal themselves, like a health station, and they will actually do it in front of you. Like, if you just come upon them while they're doing that, again, it just adds how smart these AI are. I'm going to talk about it later, about the Splicers specifically, but how smart the AI is in the Splicers is fucking incredible. Just literally follow a Splicer sometimes, and dude, you'll be amazed how smart these things are. But I got a whole section about Splicers, so we'll talk about them later as well. After traveling a bit more, we get a better look at a Splicer in the spotlight. Atlas will send out a security bot to chase away the Splicer, and get used to hearing that noise because it's going to be your worst nightmare hearing that. You'll know when you hear it, trust me. And be ready to electroshock and hack or run from them. But I recommend hacking every security bot you see, every machine you see, hack it. Trust me, it's better than destroying them, and it's better to have them on your side. But once the Splicers run away, we get our hands on our first and really only melee weapon in the game. It's a wrench. Now, unlike Ratchet and Clank, we won't be using the wrench to repair anything, although with Rapture and Disarray, it would have been a fun mechanic to like have us like repair stuff. But I'm glad it didn't, because I could kind of see that being annoying. But like, I just thought like, based off the way the aesthetic is, it would have been kind of cool to have something like that. But nope, it's just used to knock out our enemies. After securing our weapon, we get a jump scare of a flaming couch tumbling towards us from behind a hidden staircase as a Splicer sends it down at us. Now, this scared the hell out of me as a kid because I had no idea what I was supposed to do when this thing was coming at me. But once we just jump over it, we get our first up and close and personal combat with our first Splicer. It's an easy takedown, and you just get to see how deformed these zombie-like people have become after the overuse of plasmid and atom. Again, I'll explain more about what Splicers are when we get to the Splicer section. But in short terms, these guys were human, but they overused like gene tonics, they overused like plasmids, and they overused atom that had deformed their body. It like literally changed their genetic code and made them like all gross looking. Feel free to explore around a bit, and once you're ready, head upstairs to receive your first plasmid, the Electro Bolt. Now, this scene is pretty cool and intense, so I'm just going to let it play.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped. Wonder if he's still got some Adam on him. Let's buck. Weak! You're a weak chopper. This little fish ain't worth towing it with no big daddy. Yellow, always have been. You'll be no better off with a metal daddy, little fish. See you floating from my
I'm going to save the discussion about plasmids for the combat/power section, but before continuing on with the story, this is where we get our first look at the Little Sisters and Big Daddy, the icons of Bioshock.
Look, Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel. I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute, he's still breathing. It's all right. I know he'll be an angel soon.
Once we're able to freely move again, we can see just how badly Rapture is falling apart. Elevators are broken, there's cracks in the wall, entire parts of the ceiling are missing, and there's even flooding. This is what I talked about earlier with like Rapture being in disarray, and I wish not wish, because again, I like that the wrench is just for knocking out enemies, but like one or two things using the wrench to like repair something could have been fun. We then get the biggest lie from Atlas trying to convince us to trust him. His family is being attacked by Splicers, and he's begging us to help them. I'm going to play this scene for you guys.
Listen, I've got a family. I need to get them out of here. But the Splicers have cut me off from them. If you can reach them in Neptune's bounty, then maybe, just maybe... I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now. But you're the only hope I'll ever see my wife and child again. Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please.
Players on this first playthrough, as well as I did, are going to buy this and rush to go help his family. But, I'm not going to spoil just yet, but just know there's a lot of clues around Rapture. They're called Diaries. There's a full section about Diaries as well. But to add to the lore of Bioshock, Rapture, some of the characters, you can just learn more about the personalities, but you also learn about this war between Fontaine and Ryan, which are two major antagonists, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we get there, though, we get our third type of weapon in the game, and this awesome scene that made me laugh as a kid. It made me laugh so hard at the reveal. I'm going to just play this scene for you. Check this out.
Sing this long hush now. Mom's gone. And Daddy too. Wait. This has happened to you before? And none. Why aren't you here? Why is it today and not then Why can't Mommy hold you to her breast and feel your teeth? Oh, no. No.
Plasmids changed everything. They destroyed our bodies, our minds. We couldn't handle it. Best friends butchering one another. Babies strangled in cribs. The whole city went to hell.
This shit made me laugh so hard when I was a kid because I thought it makes it like she's talking to a baby, but she's talking to a gun. I just had my nephew, who's 11, play this game for the first time, and I didn't tell him anything about the scene. I let him play it, and when he saw it, he was laughing his butt off too. That was such a clever way that the developers put this in the game, and the devs do a lot of creative stuff in this game. I'm gonna get to those when we get there, but that was like the first, like, really, like, oh my god, these developers definitely had a lot of fun with this game.
Splicer! Give him the combo. Zap him, then whack him. 1-2 punch. Remember, the 1-2 punch.
control myself. I can. You want some of this? Yeah, you know what? I can wait. I was just getting warmed up. Tell Ryan I'm sorry. How's that? Don't fucking judge me! That's all you got? Help! Oh! Oh, jeez! Oh, jeez! Please!
I've got a family. I need to get them out of here. But the Splicers have cut me off from them. If you can reach them in Neptune's bounty, then maybe, just maybe... I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now. But you're the only hope I'll ever see my wife and child again. Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please.
Sing this song. Hush now. Mom's gone. And Daddy too. Wait. This has happened before? And none? Why aren't you here? Why is it today and not then? Why can't Mommy hold you to her breast and feel your teeth? Oh, no. No, 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 no.
Plasmids changed everything. They destroyed our bodies, our minds. We couldn't handle it. Best friends butchering one another. Babies strangled in cribs. The whole city went to hell.
What's the reward you get for trying to outsmart the best electrical engineer of our generation?
Players on this first playthrough, as well as I did, are going to buy this and rush to go help his family. But I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but just know there's a lot of clues around Rapture. They're called Diaries. There's a full section about Diaries as well. But to add to the lore of Bioshock, Rapture, some of the characters, you can just learn more about the personalities. But you also learn about this war between Fontaine and Ryan, which are two major antagonists, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we get there, though, we get our third type of weapon in the game. And this awesome scene that made me laugh as a kid. It made me laugh so hard at the reveal I'm gonna just play this scene for you. Check this out. This shit made me laugh so hard when I was a kid because I thought it makes it look like she's talking to a baby, but she's talking to a gun. I just had my nephew, who's 11, play this game for the first time, and I didn't tell him anything about the scene. I let him play it, and when he saw it, he was laughing his butt off too. That was such a clever way that the developers put this in the game, and the devs do a lot of creative stuff in this game. I'm gonna get to those when we get there, but that was like the first, like, really, like, oh my god, these developers definitely had a lot of fun with this game. Oh, sorry guys. Now, before we can talk about the game's morale system with the little sisters, I want to mention that it has 3 endings. We have to see the power of a Big Daddy firsthand before we can even, like, understand the morale system. Just watch this scene with the Big Daddy and little sister when a Splicer tries to attack him.
Careful now. Would you kindly lower that weapon for a minute? You think that's a child down there? Don't be fooled. She's a little sister now. Somebody went and turned a sweet baby girl into a monster. Whatever you thought about right and wrong on the surface, well, that don't count for much down in Rapture. Those little sisters, they carry Adam, the genetic material that keeps the wheels of Rapture turning. Everybody wants it, everybody needs it.
Another great and horrifying scene that terrified me as a kid. I thought that Big Daddy was going to come through that glass and fight me. You can see its power, its aggressiveness, how badly, like, it's basically a bullet sponge, like in a tank at the same time. The ground shakes its footsteps, despite its size, and it's fast. But I have a whole section on Big Daddies and Little Sisters that I'll go into more detail later. I just want you to see the power of these things and the first introduction we get with them. For now, to continue playing up the horror scene, this is when Ryan reveals that he knows that we're inside of Rapture, but he doesn't know who we are just yet. This is a very important detail to the story, so I'm going to play this scene for you guys.
Oh, Christ! You're trapped! Gonna try to override the exit from here!
So tell me, friend, which one of the bitches sent you? The KGB wolf or the CIA jackal? Here's the news. Rapture isn't some sunken ship for you to plunder. And Andrew Ryan isn't a giddy socialite who can be slapped around by government muscle. And with that, farewell, or до свидания, Jerry.
He then sends out these splicers after us who are threatening to break the glass in our room to get to us. They will never break through, I found out during this playthrough, and they'll just stand, and if you just stand there and watch, the scene will eventually transition. But as a kid, I thought they were really gonna break in there. I was like, oh crap, the lighting, the flashing, the way they're coming at you all aggressively, I was horrified as a kid. I was trying to get out of there as fast as possible. I didn't wait for the transition. I really thought I was about to be like swarmed by a bunch of splicers, like zombies coming at you, like in Left 4 Dead when you're the last one standing. Oh, I was terrified. I had to get out of there. But it's so funny when I think back to it, like a lot of things that scared me in this game as a kid. Now, I'll also clip in some other random great moments throughout the game, whether jump scare or from my teenage nightmare fuel, though this one just feels like a lot of fun. And I actually found out by listening to, you can find these like director commentary wheels throughout the game, and one of them specifically talks about why they made this scene the way it is. We come across this shotgun lying on the floor, surrounded by a spotlight and darkness all around it. I knew the moment we picked that up, something was going to happen. And I did not expect that the devs, again, intended for this part of the game to be so fun. Check this scene out.
Tacky little nothing! Oh, where are you going?
They made this scene for us to feel strong and powerful. Like picking up a shotgun, shoot. It takes out a Splicer every time they show up, like one after another, like one shot. It literally gets the Terminator, like when she like cocked that gun with one hand. I fucking loved it. It's so fun, and it's one of the like funnest scenes in the game. Oh my god. It truly makes us feel like a badass, and that's exactly what the devs were intending for. Now, while it's hard to pin down the main story of Bioshock, I know it feels like I'm going all over the place with the story, but there is a story. It's more also about like ideologies of the people that live in Rapture, and Andrew Ryan, Fontaine, Dr. Tenenbaum, Peaches, I think his name is Sohan Kohan or something like that, Sandra Cohen or something like that. There's a lot of ideologies in Bioshock, but it all connects once you play it. Now, there are only a few Splicers with their minds still intact. Andrew Ryan, Fontaine, Atlas, and we'll get to the others. Other YouTubers can definitely break down this game for you better than this review can, but I promise you, the secrets and the story I learned throughout this game, I can't wait to share with you. Just bear with me in this story. So before the game gives us complete full reign to roam Rapture as we please, we get our first morale and karmic choice of the game. This is the main point of the game. You either save the little sisters or harvest them. And lucky for us, this first time, we don't have to fight a big daddy. Yet.
It's a little one. Here's your chance to get some Adam.
Shot next.
Easy now, Doctor. He's just looking for a wee bit of Adam. Just enough to get by.
I'll not have him hurt my little ones.
It's okay, lad. That's not a child. Not anymore, it ain't. Dr. Tenenbaum saw to that.
Bitte, do not hurt her. Have you no heart?
Aye, that's a pretty sermon coming from the ghoul who cooked up them creatures in the first place. Took fine little girls and turned them into that, didn't you? Listen to me, boyo. You won't survive without the Adam those things are carrying. Are you prepared to trade your life, the lives of my wife and child, for Tenenbaum's little Frankenstein?
Here! There is another. Use this. Free them from their torment. I will make it to be worth your while. Somehow.
Atlas tries to convince us to consume the little sisters for all their Adam, but ultimately it will kill them. But what's wrong with that? They aren't little girls anymore after all. They are monsters that are made up of Adam. Adam is essentially used for upgrading your powers, your plasmids, or buying new plasmids, buying more health, buying new Evo, buying a lot of upgrades from something called the Gatherer's Garden. Heck, You can say Adam is the essential life of Rapture. But again, I will get more into that later. I know I'm not explaining enough yet, but we are getting there. There is a reason we're talking about all this. But Dr. Tenenbaum offers us another solution. She created the Little Sisters in the first place, but she wants us to help save them. She offers us our second plasmid, a healing one that can change the Little Sisters back into little girls. That's the only thing it can do, and you don't have to add it to your slots. It's just automatically in there. It'll give us less Adam, but I will tell you now, don't worry. When all is said and done by the end of the game, the difference between harvesting and saving a little sister is like 100 Adam. So it's really up to you and what kind of ending you want. So, though you start with less, we're going to be saving them for this playthrough.
No! 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 Thank you. Thank you.
The path of the righteous is not always easy, yes. The reward will become clear in time. Be patient.
Oh, I'm ready for dream time, Mr.
Tenenbaum's playing you for a sap. Those things may look like wee little girls, but looks don't make it so. You'll need all the Adam you can get to survive. If you cross paths with another of them, in other words, guard machines, make sure you pick up a new plasmid or two. That's if the price ain't too dear, of course.
The game makes up for it though with rewards from Tenenbaum. That's how you're going to end up equaling to about 100 difference by the end of the game. Ultimately, the choice is up to you, and it'll lead to 1 of 3 endings: the good, the bad, and the sad ending. Now, this depends on if you choose to save all 3 narrative little sisters, or harvest all 3 little sisters, or if you harvest one, but save the other 2 and the remaining parts of the story. There are a total of 21 little sisters to save or harvest, depending on which one you do, and but whichever, say you choose to save 7 little sisters but harvest 14 of them, you're gonna get the sad ending. If you choose to harvest all 21 little sisters, you're gonna get the bad ending. If you choose to save all 21 little sisters like I did, you're gonna get the good ending. You don't have to save all 21. You just have to, between the 3 narrative, because there's gonna be 3 narratives, 1 in the beginning of the story, 2 towards the end of the story, 2 towards the end of the game. They're mandatory. It's gonna happen. This first one is to introduce you to the karmic choice, so you have to make a choice. But we're gonna get more into them later, and as we find the diaries in the little sister section as well, I'll explain more about it. Shortly after this, our second narrative counter with the little sister immediately comes. So actually, no, the last choice is at the end of the game. You have to now fight a big daddy and then make that choice again. This is not a choice for this one. Also, I'm forgetting to mention, I'll probably mention this again with the little sister section, a little sister and big daddy section, but you don't have to, after you do the 3 narrative ones, you don't have to fight a big daddy, you don't have to harvest any little sisters, but those 3 are going to determine, the 3 narrative ones are going to determine the ending you get at the end of the game. Now, a big daddy has come and it's ready to fight us. And this thing is no pushover. Like I said, big daddies are tanks and bullet sponges. I believe the creators put us against this thing this early so we could die. I mean, I think you could survive this first fight, but I think you're supposed to die because it introduces the Vita Chamber mechanic almost instantly, that you can be auto-revived, but your enemies will have the same health and same damage they took. However, again, I'll explain the dying mechanic when we get there. Now, there's again a big secret about the Vita Chambers. That's why I don't want to reveal it just yet, but I'm going to play the scene of my first fight with this big daddy. As we continue on, we get our first meeting with the Splicer, who has some degree of his sanity still left in him. His name is Peaches Wilkins, who will further allow us to access into Rapture if we obtain his camera and get pictures of Splicers for him. He wants Splicers pictures so he can get data on them. Now, the thing about taking pictures and getting research for them is you have to do this while the show live. You can't get a picture of a Splicer when they're dead. It won't count. Except for the Sander Cohen section, but we'll get there when we get there. But also, I just found out if you take pictures of Splicers constantly in this game before you kill them, you unlock something called camouflage, which is like the best plasma power in the game, or best gene tonic in the game. So I recommend taking those pictures. I didn't take enough pictures in this game because I didn't really care for that mechanic. But I telling you, definitely take them pictures. Now, taking pictures of against Splicers before you kill them will reveal also weaknesses later throughout the game for different types of Splicers. I'll play a scene for that for you guys.
Happens to happen on you. Look on the conveyor belt. You'll find something to keep you alive. Now, go get that camera, and then snapshots of those that crawls on the ceiling. Then I'll let you into the fisheries. Just remember, sonny friend, I smell an ounce of Fontaine on you, and I'll have you in a box. Atlas gives you the vouch, but I ain't turning my eye just on his say-so. Good, you got the camera. Now give me some snaps on those spider splicers, and don't come back down here till you've got my research.
All his commandments. I observe all his Man, you'll open up if you know. Good for you.
So the more pictures you take, it upgrades your research on them, but it also and gets you closer to that camouflage power, but it also reveals like any weaknesses they might have. When we first meet Peaches, he gives us the benefit of the doubt because he says Atlas vouched for us. But he warns us if we smell like a guy named Fontaine, he will kill us. This is also when we get our second lie from Atlas, that Fontaine, whoever he is long since dead and gone. And this is the early hint from the devs and many throughout the game that you can find, again, if you find those diaries and explore.
Grown man jumping at ghosts. Fontaine's dead, and everybody knows it. In the ground for months, and half the place still jumping at his shadow. Christ, even Ryan. You never mind all that. We got work to do.
So it's time to take some pictures of Splicers as we go. One thing I realized during this playthrough is that it builds up the lore between Fontaine and our character Andrew Ryan throughout the diaries you can find all through our Rapture. These diaries can be played while you're exploring or in combat. You can find them glowing anywhere on the ground of Rapture, in random rooms, or under objects, and they're always fun to listen to. I have a whole section on diaries, but the basic thing that I want to tell you is that we learned that Fontaine was interested in changing his genetic code and becoming stronger. Perhaps he caused the Splicer incidents, like he's the reason why all these Splicers exist. Whereas Ryan thought he was an egotistical fool, and that there was even talk about people who supported Fontaine through these diaries about how he was the future of Rapture.
Diane, my dear, I'm sorry, but I'll be late again tonight. Rosenberg is demanding to speak about this Fontaine business. I'm trying to build a proper financial market, and this idiot keeps going on about Adam this, genetic modification, that. I'll go spend an hour pretending to pay attention to the poor fellow and be home as soon as I can. Andre.
Mr. Ryan, I believe in Rapture, but that doesn't mean we always win. Fontaine Futuristics is the biggest thing going in Rapture, so let me be plain. When we arrest that toe-rag Fontaine for his thieving and smuggling, we must make it clear that we won't touch his business interests. We sit on the council because these poor sods trust us, not because God gave us a chair.
They really did some impressive world building with this game. Like, if you find those diaries and listen to them, I'll play some for you guys. But yes, for a 2009 game or so, this did a lot of work. It did a lot of things right. Trust it. It's so good. I also only realized that during this playthrough, 1/3 of the way after collecting pictures for Peaches, it's actually revealed that Fontaine is Atlas. They tell you like 1/3 of the way into the game.
I bet when your boss waggled out of hell, he done told the devil he'd be right back. And the devil says, Sure thing, Mr. Fontaine. I'll hold you a spot. Ryan promised Fontaine was dust, and now here you are doing his dirty. I guess that makes Ryan a bum, and you a...
Of course, the player has no way of knowing this, but it had been set up all along that Fontaine... It had been set up all throughout the game that, along with Fontaine build up through one of the diaries I came across. So I'm going to play this diary for you guys so you can hear it for yourselves.
Never play a man for the short con when you can play him for the long one. Atlas is the longest con of all. Ryan wanted Frank Fontaine dead. I just gave him what he wanted. As Atlas, I got a new face, a clean record, and a fresh start. Now, it's time to take back Rapture.
They'll be so pleased.
Oh, Mrs. McClintock! What are you doing here? Let me just... turn this off.
After returning to Peaches, we get into a fight. We get in a fight with him because he smells Fontaine on us. Which again, the devs are trying to tell you, the store's trying to tell you, like, Fontaine is Atlas. Peaches has no plasma ability, but instead relies on keeping a densest and throwing Molotov cocktails at you. I might be saying it wrong. I know what that is, but probably saying it wrong. And if we get close to us, he attempts to flee. He's also teamed up with other Splicers, and I love his design, by the way. We never see his face because it's under, like, one of those, like, you know, miner helmets. But he looks like the average everyday worker, which if you listen to his diaries, he pretty much is. After the defeat of Peaches, Atlas urges us to, like, rush to save his family quickly as Andrew Ryan is threatening to unleash Splicers on them.
But I can't get in. I need you for that. My family can't be more than 100 yards away. Hit the switch up there in the control booth and let me in. I think it's time to shake hands and get acquainted.
You've had your fun, but enough is enough. If you press that button, you'll learn what it means to truly be my enemy.
If only your friend could look up and see. Maybe only you could do something, anything. Except just stand here and watch your
Splicers! They're everywhere! I can't hold them! Got to fall back! Get me family out and we'll regroup as soon as we can!
I remember my first playthrough panicking, as even though this isn't a timer to save them, the game's intensity that you have got to get to them, they're like our Uncle Ben. We've got to save them. And that's when we get this scene, the death of Atlas's family.
Get out if you can! Get out, we'll regroup!
You ooze in like an assassin, and then you try to sneak out like a thief. You're no CIA spook. Who are you? Why have you come here?
There's two ways to deal with a mystery. Uncover it, or eliminate it.
Get out! Get out and get to Arcadia! Jesus Christ!
First-time players like me will believe Andrew Ryan is the villain. How could he kill this innocent family? How could he kill Atlas's family like that? Like, he just blew them up. His daughter and his wife. I was like livid for him. I was like, oh yeah, let's get revenge on this guy. This guy's evil. We gotta take down Andrew Ryan. And he is evil in a way, but not for this crime. But again, that's a later reveal. For now, let's head to Arcadia, inspired by Atlas to avenge his family and kill Andrew Ryan. I'm gonna play that scene for you.
Moira. Patrick. Ain't that just like Ryan? Waits until we're almost out, then he pulls the string. We'll find the bastard. We'll find him and we'll tear his heart out.
I came to this place to build the impossible. You came to rob what you could never build. A hum gaping at the gates of Rome. Even the air you breathe is sponged from my account. Well, breathe deep, so later you might remember the taste.
You get to the bathysphere in the rolling hills. That'll take you straight to the devil himself. And then all debts will be paid in full.
Now with conviction, we are locked between the battle between Ryan and Atlas. And Atlas wants us to kill Ryan, but there's no straight shot to him. We must first find the various fun characters like Peaches, Wilkins, Julius Langford, the scientist. She's the one that created the trees and is providing oxygen throughout Rapture. We're going to get to more of her section as well. Well, a short little section about her, but she's the one that did that. Martin Finnegan, Bridget Tenenbaum, who is the creator of the Little Sisters, and the most memorable character of the game, second to Ryan himself, and Sander Cohen. Well, Sander Cohen is actually the second memorable character of the game. Now, when we get to our second big Splicer, Sander Cohen's area, you can find a lot of interesting statues of Splicers turned to clay, seemingly against their will. Like, one family of statues has this little girl and a wife bound with her arms behind her back, and the husband seemingly slit his wrist on a kitchen table. I mean, it's a dark scene, but when you learn about Sander Cohen and how he is, like, it fits him perfectly. Another room has a man in a closet turned to clay in front of a mirror. This is all before meeting one of Sander Cohen's 4 disciples, Kyle Fitz, who is forced to play piano for Sanders before he explodes him from disappointment. Check this scene out.
No, no, no! Silence! Allegro! Presto! No!
I'm trying! Please!
Once again, young Fitzpatrick.
Oh God, you sick fuck, let me out of there!
Life, death, the burden of the artist is to capture. No, little more.
life, death. The burden of the artist is to capture. See young Fitzpatrick here on the stage. Use your camera. Take him as he is now, so I may remember him. And now you've got Fitzpatrick caught in his moment of glory. It seems you've got the eye of the shutterbug, little moth. Now, head to the atrium and place his photograph in my masterpiece. And so our collaboration commences.
In Sander Cohen's words, art is an explosion and at the same time immortal. He's a fucking Sasori and Dodoria combined to one person, as he believes capturing people after death makes them beautiful. And he's got 4 enemies total that he wants to memorialize forever with the camera Peaches gave to us. Our targets are Martin Finnegan, a Houdini Splicer, who we fight in the Frozen Tunnel. Again, I'm going to talk about the different kind of Splicers in the Splicer section. But he was once a friend of Sander, who became one of his 4 disciples. But he got trapped in Fort Frolic with 3 others by Cohen, and now he wants out. I'm going to play the scene of his first appearance. It's really fucking cool. I love how he's like, the Iceman cometh.
Allow me to draw back the curtain. I can see your the old grape finally sent someone. Son of a bitch, left me to freeze. Oh, I've got a pose all picked out for you.
I also love this battle for not just the aesthetic, but like if you start burning everything with your incinerate plasmid, you can revive some of the frozen plasmids and they will immediately attack Martin unless you killed Martin first, and then they'll attack you. But I love how like they focus their attention on him because he's the one that locked him in there. So that's a really fun gag. Again, that's how smart the AI is. The AI is very creative in this game. He also has ice plasmid power called Winter Blast. You'll get it yourself as well, but he will use it on you to freeze you constantly. So after we kill him, we take a picture of him for Sander Cohen, and you can put his picture on the memorial, or you can just wait till you get all 4. The next is Silas Cobbs, who was a disciple of Sander Cohen, who admired him because he thought he was a musical genius. And thus is why Sander Cohen paid his rent, but that wasn't as a favor. It was to keep him as one of his slave projects. Cobb had laid a bomb trap for Cohen should he ever show himself, but we showed up in his place and we took the brunt of the bomb for ourselves. I'm going to play that scene for you guys.
You Cohen's messenger boy! I got something for that, bro. Spend a little time with my kitten, sugar.
Thus Cobbs enters battle with us, and he accuses us of being Cohen's messenger boy. He mostly keeps a distance instead of sending flaming splicers at us. Once they are gone, he will begin throwing mocktail cocktails at us, or use smoke bombs when we're close up to like run away, because he doesn't want to face us up close and personal. I recommend using telekinesis to catch his cocktails and hurl them back at him. Just keep a distance. Also, if you are at a distance from him, he'll wait till you start chasing him again before he'll start running away. Pretty funny. And the last of the 4 disciples is Hector Rodriguez. You can find him drinking drunk at a bar. He is a nitro splicer, meaning he throws cocktails, well, when he's at a distance. And if the player gets too close, he runs away and starts throwing them over his shoulders. One of the more funny and comedic splicers you can face off with. With all the disciples dead, we can now place them on Sandra Cohen's hideous statue, and he finally shows himself parading himself down the stairs as if he was the star of the show.
It is accomplished! Let me see.
Funny note is here, Sandra Cohen is one of the few splicers who won't attack you unless provoked first. You can completely ignore Sandra Cohen if you want to. I recommend it here, and I'll explain why. So, if you don't attack him now, you get one of his 2 rewards locked in a chest. If you kill him now, as I did in my first playthrough, you lose access to the second chest and his apartment later. Both of which the player, not knowing their first playthrough, you won't notice your first playthrough. But don't worry, we're going to kill him much later. For now, let's get our hands on the first locked chest, and we'll just leave him to admire his weird, ugly masterpiece until he gets to his apartment, and we'll kill him later. He'll pay for his crimes.
You might have been worthy of seeing inside the box of my most private news. But who knows if that man is yet even born. Now, go.
We also didn't come across Julia Langford, the botanist, or I think they call her the botanical researcher who created the oxygen-providing trees and plants in Rapture. Without her, life cannot exist so far under the sea. She's the second, if not first, splicer who will not attack you in the game, but instead ask for help to like restore the air once it becomes toxic. I think Ryan did this to try to kill us.
My trees! It wasn't you, was it? No. Ryan. I think I've got a way to save the trees. It's a genetic vector that... Oh, look who I'm talking to. Could you find a sample of Rosa Gallica for me? Look in the grotto. I've got to keep working while there's time.
We then help her with her task, and that is before Ryan's voice comes over the intercom, accusing us of helping us and aiding Fontaine. Langford is then killed by a toxic gas in a very brutal scene, actually. I'm going to make sure I show that off for you guys.
Julie, we made a business deal, you and I, did we not? Money changed hands. Let me read to you from the agreement. Section 3, subsection 4.
Mr. Ryan.
Ryan Industries maintains exclusive rights to the creation, use, and exploitation of the Lazarus vector. Ownership is civilization.
Wait! No! Please!
Without it, we're back in the swamp.
Mr. Ryan!
Every time we get a yard ahead, Ryan goes and moves the goal line down to the other side of the field.
Ryan is not kidding. He wants to stop us and Fontaine at all costs, even if that means killing Rapture, his baby. He will do it, and this was the first step. I think he was hoping that we would die from lack of oxygen first, and then he probably would have came down and fixed it. But it's not explained. Well, there's other things that happen later. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think that's what his goal was. Now, before I forget, I just learned this playthrough in a diary where we are Andrew Ryan's bastard son, and Fontaine bought her eggs and kept us. You can find this in the room where you found that drunken splicer when you were hunting him down for Sandra Cohen. It's in this room. It's a diary hidden under a bed. I'm gonna make sure I play the scene for you guys, but like he had sex with like basically a stripper named Jasmine Julene, and he killed her once he learned that she was pregnant, and he wanted her to abort it, but she refused. She had the baby. He didn't know that, of course, but he killed her because he was having an affair behind his wife's back. And Fontaine bought that baby. I'm gonna play that diary for you guys.
I don't give it.
Well, if it isn't the long-lost Andrew Ryan. Come here, tiger. I thought you had forgotten about poor Jasmine, but I am so glad you didn't. I'm sorry, Mr. Ryan. I didn't know. I didn't know Fontaine had something to do with it. What are you doing? No, don't, please. I loved you, don't, please, no.
Where's that guy going?
That creepy Dr. Tenenbaum promised me it wasn't going to be a real pregnancy. They just take the egg out once Mr. Ryan and I had... I needed the money so bad. But I know Mr. Ryan's going to suss it out. Gonna know I wasn't being careful. Gonna know I sold the... Mr. Ryan's gonna be so mad at me.
Now, would you kindly give me a drink after that plot twist? I'm sure I did find this my first playthrough as a kid, but I don't think I paid attention to it or the implications of it. But this is also found during the during the battle with Hector. That's his name. So for Sandra Cohen's mission. That was a major reveal for me this playthrough. And again, there are other context clues throughout this game where it's revealed that Ryan does learn it. They don't play that scene of when and where when we get there, but like that was a mindfuck for me. I did not know that that's how that reveal went. Now, after Cohen's dealt with or left alone, it's time to set our sights back on Andrew Ryan, the bastard father who killed our mother. As we do various tasks to get to Ryan, we eventually come outside of his office, where we get even more twists. These are where the biggest twist of the game come from. Ryan learned the truth. He learned that Jack, who I forgot to mention is the name of our character, his name is Jack, that he is our son and he arrived. And that he survived, and that he's here in Rapture. He says that this is why he says that's why he won't kill us, but he doesn't outright tell you that he knows that we're his son. He just says that's why he won't kill us with his own hands. So instead, he plans to destroy all of Rapture to keep it out of the hands of Fontaine, who he believes that we're working for. So in a way, yes, he's still killing his son, but it's just not by his own hands. I'm gonna play that scene of Ryan revealing that he knows the truth of who we are.
Even in the Book of Lies, sometimes you find truth. There is indeed a season for all things. And now that I see you flesh to flesh and blood to blood, I know I cannot raise my hand against you. But know this, you are my greatest disappointment. Does your master hear me? Atlas, you can kill me, but you will never have my city. My strength is not in steel and fire. That is what the parasites will never understand. A season for all things. A time to live and a time to die. A time to build and a time to destroy!
Now, if you're wondering like me, when did Ryan figure this out? Well, there's a diary that talks about the Vita Chambers. So this is where I was talking about with the Vita Chambers, it only works for us. Now, we will get this reveal that I had been holding on to. We learned that the creator of the Vita Chambers, said that they don't just bring back anyone who died. Otherwise, Splicers would need to go to health stations, or, Big Daddies would just auto have big health again too, like they'd just be alive. Which also, I love that after you kill like a dead body of a Splicer or a Big Daddy, they're still lying there on the ground around Rapture. Love that. Again, great aesthetics in this game. But the Vita Chambers are connected to Ryan's genetic code, meaning they were only supposed to bring Ryan back to life if Ryan died.
Deployment, Vita Chamber. Client Ryan Industries, Stage 1, each complete. Sinclair and Alexander tried to explain the science to me, but Sujong does not believe them. They keep saying plasmid reconstruction this and quantum entanglement and that. Dead people come back to life. Bullshit! Of course, Ryan will only allow it to be tuned to his genetic frequencies for the testing.
So I was like, this must be how Ryan found out. At some point in the game, that's why I think the devs expect you to die against that first Big Daddy in that first fight, because the Big Daddies are tanks, they're bullet sponges, and at that point, you don't have a lot of plasmids, you don't have a lot of bullets, you don't have a lot of different weapons. I think the first time you died, or anytime you die in this game, narratively, if you somehow didn't die the whole game, good for you. But narratively, I think that you're supposed to die in this game. That's how Ryan figured it out. He saw you get brought back by a Vita chamber, and he was like, that shouldn't be possible. Only my genetic code, only my family can be brought back with, well, his like children, not his wife. His wife would not have his genetic code. But yeah, I think that's how he figured it out. And I know it's a skill issue when you die constantly in the game. That was me. But I think that's when he realized it. But there are still two major twists to come. Listen to this audio about mind control. So now we get the greatest reveal in the gaming, probably all of gaming history, and the legendary quote that stuck with all of us who played this game for years. Would you kindly? The reveal.
The assassin has overcome my final defense, and now he's come to murder me. In the end, what separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys. You think you have memories. A farm. A family. An airplane. A crash. And then this place. Was there really a family? Did that airplane crash? Or was it hijacked? Forced down. Forced down by something less than a man. Something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase spoken by their kindly master. Was a man sent to kill? Or a slave? A man chooses. A slave obeys. Come in. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys. Kill! A man chooses.
a slave obeys! Obey!
Hurry now! Grab Ryan's genetic key! Now, would you kindly put it in that goddamn machine?
Rapture is overflowing with memorable locations and set pieces. In developing a world...
You might find answers in Suchong's flat in Mercury Suite.
not once, not twice, but 3 times by the same man. Atlas and Fontaine are one and the same. And now that he's tricked us into killing our father, no one stands a chance in this radical takeover of Rapture. And now it's time to kill us too. But thankfully, the Little Sisters and Tannenbaum save us by removing Fontaine's brainwashing. If you've been playing the good playthrough, the Little Sisters will refer to you as a hero in this room. But if you've been harvesting the Little Sisters, they'll still like talk to you. Or, well, I mean, the Tannenbaum will still save you, but like she's only doing it so that you'll kill Fontaine, but the Little Sisters are afraid of you. So they'll call you a monster if you walk by them. I'm going to make sure I play that scene. Now, I was wondering if you haven't been segment of Little Sisters, will you see some of them with the eyes? But I'm not sure. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see this. Now, once Fontaine finds out that we're still alive, he pulls out a second trick called Code Yellow. Check this scene out.
And now you've got hooked up with Tannenbaum, huh, kid? She's a regular mother goose. Alright, fun's fun, kid. But now, go get stepped on by a big daddy. Would you kindly? Huh? I says, would you kindly go get stepped on by a big daddy? Ah, seems like Mother Goose has been playing around in your egg salad. If you won't dance to that tune, I got others. Code Yellow. I just told your brain to tell your heart to stop beating. Not right off the bat, mind you. The heart's a stubborn muscle, but it ain't that stubborn.
Once you are free of Fontaine's control, then you can have your revenge. And we can keep my little ones out of his filthy hands.
His backup plan, should we ever cut our puppet strings, is to start doing what we want. It's to slowly activate a virus inside of us that kills us from the inside out. Though don't worry, you won't actually die in this game. It's just narrative driven, and even if you did die, you'd probably be brought back by a Vita chamber anyway. But it's also at this point in the game, if you haven't already killed Sandra Cohen, you can now find him in his apartment, kill him to obtain the key to his second chest. Though the rewards aren't worth it, all that backtracking, it's like, I think like some organs. It's nothing really worth going back to get, but like if you want to just like close the loose ends like I did, I was like, yeah, Sandra, you still gotta die. You did a lot of, you turned a lot of people into clay and you killed them, so you still gotta die. So I made sure to go back and finish him. It's also here you get 2 more interesting diaries. One is from Fontaine telling us that one of them is that is telling us that he was there the moment we were born, and the second is that the scientists created the mind control plasmid. He says that Fontaine had asked if he could implant memories into a human to make them his own personal jukebox, one that dances to his own tune. Would you kindly? I'm gonna play that diary for you guys.
Fontaine's become some kind of boogeyman in Rapture. That myth gives him power. But peel back flim flam and a humbug, he's just another con man. And like all con men, he worries he'll end up on the wrong side of grift. That's why he commissioned a Lot 192. The antidote to the mental control plasmid. Fontaine said I better not tell anybody about the antidote. Not even Tannenbaum. And Su Chong is inclined to listen.
I knew there was something to that. Always secret, but not always. He must have his Lot 192 in his lab near Apollo Square. I once stole a dose and brought it back to my flat on the 2nd floor, but those apes would have taken it back to Fontaine's penthouse upstairs. I never knew what Lot 192 was for, but Su Chong was doing something in secret. On this I keep my eye.
Hate to see you this way, kid. Hell, I was there when you were born. You ever have a dog you gotta put down? Breaks your heart.
All those years, we thought we were making progress with our Skinner boxes and our electric shocks. What a waste of time. Until Adam, you could no more domesticate a child than a boa constrictor. Fontaine gives a Suchong history for child that he wants to imprint into child's head. Kid, not a person. A jukebox, ready to play whatever tune Fontaine wants to hear.
Now, if you're wondering how Fontaine rose to rival Andrew Ryan in the first place, it wasn't because he had the equal power or brains of Andrew Ryan. It was simply because he had the opportunity, manipulating the poor. Listen to Fontaine, in his own words, his rise to power.
Rapture was a candy store for a guy like me. Guys who thought they knew it all, dames who thought they'd seen it all. Give me a smart mark over a dumb one every time.
These sad saps. They come to Rapture thinking they're gonna be captains of industry. But they all forget that somebody's gotta scrub the toilets. What an angle they gave me. I hand these mugs a cot and a bowl of soup, and they give me their lives. Who needs an army when I got Fontaine's Home for the Poor?
Also, through one of these tapes, you learn that Ryan's wife left him to follow Fontaine. Whether this is because she learned about the affair or not, I can't really recall. But as we adventure more, we stumble upon a cure to code yellow, lot 22, which makes all of our plasmids go random for a while. It's no big deal, but unless you get something useless like, well, not all of them are useless, but like Enrage, and you're just fighting one splicer, that makes it kind of pointless. Now, eventually though, after we've been cured, we go back to hunting down Fontaine, who runs and hides deeper into Rapture. And the only way to get to him is disguising ourselves like a big daddy and to trick a little sister into luring him out. This, I wouldn't say, is the hardest part of the game, but it can be challenging, as sometimes you want to run ahead of the little sister to scout for turrets, cameras, hack them, early kill us splicers, but leave the little sister alone for too long and she can't fend for herself. She will die. I did lose 2 little sisters to this playthrough, and I'm sure in my first playthrough I definitely lost the little sisters. You don't get a bad ending if this happens, but Tannenbaum will say if you lose even one little sister, like losing even one angel is bad. But again, the ending will stay the same depending on those 3 narrative choices. But it's kind of cool to see in the eyes of a big daddy and how they see Rapture and view it through view it through how they see Rapture. Wink, wink to Bioshock 2. If you know, you know. Then comes the hardest part of Bioshock. You have to protect the little sister like she's your own. You are acting as a big daddy without the huge drill. We do get that in Bioshock 2. It's fun as fuck. But yeah, you have your plasmids, your wrench, your genotonics. Take out them splicers before they get to little sisters. And this is why you want to hack everything instead of destroy it, because those turrets will help and aid you. Now, while she's gathering Adam from the corpses of the little sisters, this one is one of many gauntlets in the game. But yeah, you have to protect her, and you can still die. You'll just end up in a Vita chamber, but she does have a health bar as well, and it lets you know that when she's being attacked or she's dead. If she dies, just go to the nearest pipe, bang on it with your wrench, and a new one will come out. So that's why I say hacking the turrets, it helps with crowd control. Once the little sisters have enough Adam, it's time to face Fontaine. Upgrade all your weapons now, plasmids, health, evo, because after this, there's no going back. It's literally this, then the ending that you get. If you die in this fight, you just go to the nearest Vita chamber, but you won't die in the fight with Fontaine and go back and fight him with his health decrease. This is the only fight where that won't happen. But of course, this is the boss fight in the game, so It's to be expected. But it's also the weakest point of Bioshock. The red-headed stepchild boss fight of all of gaming is this. It's the one that we don't talk about. Fontaine has over-fried himself with plasmid and atom, and he's become basically Mr. Manhattan, complete with the powers of Incinerate, Electrobolt, and Winter Blast. To begin the fight, stab him and drain him of atom. It makes it, he has 4 phases, it's really only 3. Now, you're going to have to face him 3 times. It's pretty easy. The first phase, he uses Incinerate and tosses fireballs at you. Just dodge out of the way and unload bullets into him. Give him everything he got. Plasma power to plasma power. When the sequence ends, he will then return the machine and you stab him with the syringe to drain him of atom. And the second phase immediately begins. He backhands you away, and now he has the powers of Winter Blast. He'll stab the ground and create a bunch of icicles that'll slide towards you. There is also a single security bot that'll fire at you. I recommend shooting it with the Electrobolt and then hacking it again. Having it on your side is pretty useful. It helps with crowd control. Make it your ally. Once again, unload him. Repeat the previous sequence of stabbing him with the syringe. And now you're going to drain him of atom for the second time. In his final phase, he will get Electric Bolt and he'll shoot a stream of electricity at you. There will also be some splicers here. Take them out quickly because they can be just annoying. I just recommend getting him out of the way. Also, anytime if he misses, he will charge at you. But it's pretty dodgeable too. That's pretty much it to that fight. After you take him down for the 3rd time, you will then think you have to stab him for a 4th time and the last time. But it goes like, he backhands you again, and then he like monologues for a short bit, telling you that he's been in control of your life the entire time. Like Aizen once said to Ichigo, like I was there the moment you were born and all that shit. That is until the little sisters that you saved or didn't save and chose to harvest will swarm him like a bunch of army of Chucky dolls. After that, the game immediately concludes, giving you the good, the bad, or sad ending depending on how you chose to play the game. I played the good ending, so we're going to show that ending here.
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I don't know what is. And now,
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
Probably gonna be the longest section because I have a lot to say, just like the story. So I'll try not to butcher it. I'll try not to go off script. I'll try to stick to what I have. Because yes, when I talk about these games, I try to do based off memory as well as mix in my notes. But let's go through it. Let's talk about the battle system. So there are 4 types of combat: hacking, physical, tonics, and plasmids. Physical being your wrench to whack already messing up. Physical being your wrench to whack enemies. There's 6 types of guns to shoot them down, and cameras for taking pictures and exposing their weakness. So the wrench really is like your only melee weapon, and it doesn't do... I mean, it does you can upgrade the wrench and upgrade gene tonics to like apparently knock out enemies like with one hit. Like there's apparently a bunch of wrench playthrough onlys on Bioshock, and I want to check those out. Like I might that's another playthrough to try. It's just a wrench only playthrough. There's 6 different types of guns that you can shoot down enemies with. We'll go to the guns as well in a minute. And then cameras for taking pictures. You get the camera from Peaches Wilkins. And basically, like, you take a photo of a splicer before you kill them. As long as you kill them, you can attack them. But as long as you take a picture of them before they die, it'll expose their weaknesses. And eventually, if you upgrade it enough, it'll give you the ultimate gene tonic, which is camouflage, which makes you temporarily invisible, which sounds really dope. I did not unlock it. Now, moving on beyond that, let's talk about the plasmids. The plasmids, there are various powers that rewrite your genetic code, giving you almost X-Men-like abilities. And they are scattered all throughout Rapture. Some are story-driven, and you will find them by playing the main story. Others are hidden, and you have to find them. There are 11 plasmids total, and you can only have 6 plasmids in one. You can only have 6 plasmids in one slot. The rest are going to go to the gene bank, which you have to go to if you want to swap out your other powers for different ones. The best thing about knowing is when they can be used at their most powerful. All plasmids can be upgraded to their 3rd level, but you will also not be able to buy every plasmid in one playthrough in this game because you only get so much atom. Even if you play the whole game harvesting all the little sisters or saving them, it's only 100 difference. You won't be able to buy everything in the Gatherer's Garden in one playthrough. It's just not possible. Now, you only start out with 2 plasmid slots, which you must upgrade from the Gatherer's Garden to unlock the remaining 4 slots, as well as the other slots for the gene tonics as well. You have to buy those slots. And then you can access all 6 powers, all 6 plasmid powers. I'll talk about the gene tonics when we get there. Now, in order to use your plasmid powers, you have to have Evo, which is the blue bar indicator underneath the health bar, which is red. And it's just to indicate their difference. Don't ever worry if you're low on Evo or EV, because you can just find EV hypos at the Circus of Value, exploring around, or if you die at when the Vita Chamber brings you back, it'll bring you back like at least half of it. So, again, or yeah, you can also find it in dead pockets of splicers. Like, so scavenging is a must. The first gene tonic you get, or the first plasmid you get, is called Electrobolt. This one is story-driven, and you can electrocute enemies to temporarily stun them and then give them a whack with your wrench, which knocks them out. But to max out this weapon's power, anytime you see a splicer standing in water or near water, zap the water's surface and make sure you're not standing in it, otherwise you'll get shocked too, and then you'll give them a shocking surprise. Electrobolt is heavily used, mostly out of combat, for opening doors that some doors can be opened by electricity, as well as disabling cameras, turrets, and security bots to allow them for easier hacking. So you're going to be using Electrobolt pretty often. I recommend always having it on you because there are a lot of turrets, there are a lot of cameras, and it just makes it easier to hack. You can hack them without using Electrobolt, but you have to get up close and personal, and those things will shoot the hell out of you and possibly kill you before you get a chance to. Now, since Electrobolt coincides with hacking, I'll talk about hacking briefly. It's a little short minigame where you have to connect one pipe to another while also revealing them, like in a game of not a game of memory because it'll stay open, but like you're trying to be quick, swift, and then you're trying to connect these pipes before the water connects and flows to the other side. If you don't make it all the way through, you'll just lose the minigame, take a little bit of health shock. It won't kill you even if you're low on health. But they are timed, and though the water's moving slowly, the pipes hidden behind the blocks can make it a little bit difficult, and sometimes there's hidden surprises. Like there are security alarms that sometimes will block your path and unleash a swarm of security bots on you. You'll hear them coming. Other times there's anti-hacking blocks that will sap a small bit of your health. It gets harder late in the game because the security bots and the alarm bots start being almost everywhere, and sometimes you'll think you're ahead like I do, and then you'll still get caught because there's nowhere to go, and the water's going to either hit the alarm or it's going to hit the security bots, and one of them's going to get you. But there are gene tonics in this game that can make that way easier. But again, I didn't find hacking too hard. I've done hacking at all my playthroughs, and I've always enjoyed it because I love taking control of the turrets and having the cameras on my side, because the cameras can let you know when a splicer's nearby, and they'll send security bots on those splicers. The turrets will attack the splicers for you. So highly recommend. Also, splicers will attack the cameras and turrets that you hack. But if you don't hack them, they'll just ignore them. The second plasmid you can find is called Target Dummy. In my original playthrough, I never used this, not even once. But this playthrough, I found it extremely helpful. When you want to catch an enemy off guard, or if you're outnumbered, a hologram of yourself will appear for about 10 seconds, giving you time to either run away or get some good shots on Splicers and Big Daddy. They will think that it's you, which is pretty... I mean, I guess if I lived in that universe and seeing a hologram, I would assume that it's Jack or you, and I would attack you too. But I didn't use it in my original playthroughs, but I did like playing it this playthrough. And I mostly did it to give you visual content. Next up is my favorite one of all time, Insect Swarm. Now, this inspired a character in Shogun vs. Shinry Enter the Dread Zone tournament. If you read the book, you know the character. Her name is Lady B. She unleashes like blood beast, insect blood beast from her palm. And essentially, you unleash a swarm of bees that will continuously attack and distract the enemy until they're either dead or they get bored and they fly away. But usually, they'll stay on the enemy unless the enemy jumps in the water. Just like how you would do if bees were on top of you now. But it's my favorite power because it'll continuously attack the enemy. And then you can just shoot the enemy while they're trying to knock off these bees, and the bees will sap away at their health. Next up is Cyclone Trap. As the name suggests, you're placing a sort of wind mine that once a splicer crosses it, they'll be flung into the air for major damage. It doesn't work on Big Daddies. A Big Daddy can cross it and they're too heavy, so the Cyclone Trap does nothing to them. Although, I hardly use this power. I did do it for this content video, but I didn't really care for Cyclone Trap, even though it has a cool idea. The next one is called Enrage. This one is interesting, especially when you're outnumbered by Splicers or a Big Daddy's in a way and you want to make them take out the Splicers for you. When a Splicer gets hit by this plasmid, they will attack anybody in near vicinity, anybody they can see, including other Splicers, including a Big Daddy. Because otherwise, Splicers will ignore the Big Daddy. Like, yeah, the Splicers want the little sister for their atom, but they are more concerned about you. So they'll focus their attacks on you. But we have a twist for that. It's called Hypnotize a Big Daddy. Now, this one is pretty fun and really funny. If you hit a Big Daddy with this, they will essentially see you as a little sister and want to protect you. This actually lasted quite for a bit of time and lasted way longer than I thought it would. I believe, like, fully upgraded, it lasts about 3 minutes, but I barely upgraded this one all the way, and I still felt like that Big Daddy followed me for a long time. Once it wears off, though, they'll just go back to ignoring you. They'll be like, you're not a little sister, what the hell? They just go about their business. But I did find it pretty fun, and they will attack Splicers that try to come and attack you. Next up is Incinerate. This one is story-driven and very fun to use. I know a lot of people love fire powers. Ace, Full Metal Alchemist, the fire dude. Everybody loves fire abilities. With this, you can light enemies on fire like you're the Human Torch. To maximize this power, if you see any shiny oil on the ground and an enemy is standing over it, ignite the oil and they'll essentially light up in the flames like a super inferno. Outside of combat, this can be used to melt ice or set off bombs or alcohol, or like a mocktail cocktail to like explode on enemies. Incinerate is another fan favorite, and probably one that is highly recommended to use and keep in your party. So, and I'll explain what I have in my sixth main I go to. Next up is Security Bullseye. This causes all security devices in the area to attack the target. This is like a quick way of using hacking without actually hacking something. But honestly, I recommend hacking them anyway because they'll always be on your side. The turrets, the cameras, they'll always detect the Splicer incoming. So I didn't really use Security Bullseye, but that's what that one essentially does. And I think that's what like some of the Splicers have for a plasmid ability when you see a security bot hovering over them. Next up is Sonic Boom. It's a powerful burst of energy unleashed from our fingertips that sends our enemies flying or repelling objects that they hurl at us away. This is super cool, and it kind of reminds me of Pain's Almighty Push. I did kind of have this one on my roster for a while, but it was on and off. Next up is Telekinesis, which I want to compare to Sonic Boom, but this one has more control. When Nitro Splicers toss mocktail cocktails at you or Big Daddies toss mines, you can grab the object, hold it in midair for as long as you want, and then send it back to them with focus, compared to like Sonic Boom, where it's just like a quick thing. Also, you can pull objects to you otherwise ungrabbable. Like if there's somewhere high or behind a locked gate, you use telekinesis and it'll bring it to you. So I highly recommend always having this on you. You can't pull living splicers to you, but you can pull dead ones to you, which is kind of funny. I tried using telekinesis on live ones, it didn't work, but that would have been kind of cool. Like, come here, you know. And the last but not least is Winter Blast, which is my favorite. It temporarily freezes a target in place, and as though you were Iceman or Sub-Zero, they're frozen solid. You can whack away at them with your wrench or gun them down, but they will poof out of existence if you completely destroy the health bar before they melt. So you won't be able to scavenge their body for loot. So I recommend don't use Winter Blast on them if you want to scavenge, which I highly recommend throughout the whole game. Although you only have 6 powers at one time, you can swap them out at any time going to the nearest gene bank. So out of the 11 plasma powers, the ones I recommend highly are Electro Bolt because of hacking. There's a lot of water. Incinerate because it's fun, everyone loves fire powers, and there's a lot of oil in the game. Telekinesis because you'll use that one often. Insect Swarm for sure. Love Insect Swarm. Let's see, what did I say? I guess Sonic Boom then. And then Hypnotize Big Daddy, because those are good. So those are my 6 main that I would recommend. But let me know what you would recommend in the comments below. Now, to reiterate, your other physical weapons are your camera for exposing the physical weaknesses of splicers by taking pictures of them, of the different types of splicers there are. However, they still must be alive for you to take a photo of them, otherwise it won't count. So taking a photo, again, is definitely worth it. And I only learned this playthrough that if you take enough photos and upgrade it, you get like a high photo ranking thing, you can unlock the camouflage gene tonic, which is highly recommended. But again, I'm going to get to that when I get there. For guns, we have 6. I'm not going to go through all of what they can do because you basically know what they all are. The first is the pistol, which, you know, basic 6 rounds. The shotgun, the chemical blower that shoots out a stream of electricity, fire, or ice. It's basically like a gun version of your Electro Bolt, your Incinerate, and your Winter Blast, but it's way too slow in my opinion, and it takes time to charge. I recommend not using it. Crossbow is one of my favorites. I love hitting Big Daddy with this. It does a lot of damage. A machine gun, and lastly a grenade launcher, which I also had a lot of fun with. And again, there are different types of ammo that you can use to target specific weaknesses of a Big Daddy or a Splicer. You'll have to go to the UNVent machine to create those special ammo. I find the crossbow to be the most effective against nearly all enemies, and the chemical blower, again, kind of useless because it's just slower and our plasma powers work better. All weapons also have 2 or 3 upgrade abilities, and you can actually max out all of their upgrade abilities in the UNVent machine before the end of the game. I actually did manage to unlock all of the weapons before the end of the game. I think I even did that in my original playthrough too. Because if as long as it costs money or as long as it costs scavenging, the only thing you will not max out in one playthrough is Gatherer's Garden. You cannot get everything in one playthrough. It's impossible. Unless you hack the game. But I'm sure they have something to stop that, because that's how the game is intended, so you don't unlock everything in Gatherer's Garden. Now, hacking has various uses in this game, not just for hacking security bots and cameras, but you can also hack health stations for cheaper healing, vending machines, the circus of value for discounts on items that you want to buy, or some that are even locked behind machines. Again, they really put a lot of work into this world. The circus of value, I think I've already talked about that. If I didn't, I have a different section for that, but it's basically where you're going to buy everything you need for the game. Now, let's talk about the final forms of combat. Tonics. There are 53 tonics, but you can only equip 18 gene tonics at once. 6 in each category. Now, while I'm sure I didn't find all of them, some are just clones or variations of a tonic, and at once with tonic slot upgrades. Oh, sorry. Some are just clones or variations of a previous version, while others are outright useless in my opinion. I'm going to go through each of those. You can equip up to 18 tonics at once with tonic slot upgrades, and unlike with the plasmid slots, you start with 2 in each category. 2 in physical tonic, 2 in engineering tonic, and 2 in what's that left? Physical. Well, I'm going to go through them. Sorry. Again, that's what happens when I get ahead of my notes. Now, tonics are like plasmids. They also physically change your genetic code, but overuse of them leads to physical and mental addiction and instability, which contributed to Rapture's downfall. Also, while plasmids require EV to use, gene tonics just have to be equipped. There is no cost to using gene tonics. That's one of the great things about them. And then I thought, perhaps this is what Atlas was up to. Perhaps he was trying to perfect the use of gene tonics to like change his body, alter his body to like get to this like weird Mr. Manhattan form that he takes into the game. Now, there are 3 different types of gene tonics again: combat, engineering, and physical. Each with 6 slots of their own, thus 18 equipable out of 53. So, let's start with combat. The first is Machine Buster. This increases all damage dealt to security devices and makes them easier to deal with turrets and security bots for players not focused on hacking their way to the game like I did. But honestly, those machines help you more than hindering you, so I'd suggest not equipping this one because, again, they help with crowd control. Like, destroying the machines, destroying the cameras, you're kind of just holding yourself back from something that can really help you take out enemies. Next up is Frozen Field. It reduces damage to you from cold attacks while increasing damage you use by using Winter Blast or the ice in the chemical blower. Human Inferno is basically the same thing. It's like, this one I think I did equip because I loved using Incinerate, but it essentially is like Frozen Field, the opposite. So it increases your fire abilities, but like decreases fire damage done to you. Electric Flesh I also had equipped. This one is one of the first 2 you get, but only like whenever somebody hits you like up close, like they'll get shocked. That's not electric. Electric Flesh is like Frozen Field and all that. Frozen Field and Inferno Field. Static Discharge is the one I had equipped, and is one of the first tonics you come across. So when an enemy lands a hit on you, it unleashes an electric shockwave from your body, zapping them. This works great in water too, but it's a double-edged sword because if you're in the water, you're gonna get shocked as well. And that's the same if you use Electrobolt while you're standing in the water with Splicers, you will get shocked. Why that happens, I don't know. I guess Static Shock couldn't stand in the water either. Can Static Shock take a bath? I'm pretty sure he could. I don't know. I guess it's like Devil Fruit. Like you're essentially a Devil Fruit user while you have Electric Flesh. So don't get hit standing in water. Armored Shell raises your defense by 25%, which has an upgrade version as well. I recommend equipping this one. That's really great to increase your power. Next up is Photographer's Eye. It increases your research scores by taking pictures of splicers by 15%. I didn't really rely on using my camera as much in this playthrough. I wish I had, because I didn't know about camouflage until the end of this review. But if you want to get to that camouflage ability faster, recommend adding Photographer's Eye. Damage research is similar. It increases the amount of damage bonuses from exposing the weaknesses with the camera of Splicers and Big Daddies. Wrench Lurker, never found this one, but it quiets the footsteps of the player and increases damage by the wrench by 200%. That is insane. That is what I mean by, like, there's a wrench playthrough out there in Bioshock that people are doing. If you catch opponent unaware or off guard, it's basically an instant KO. Like, they are out. They are gone. Next up is Wrench Jockey, which is a further variation of Lurker. It increases damage to 550%. Now, I know that sounds like a made-up number, but, like, that's what I said when I did my research. I'm kind of thinking of doing a wrench playthrough now because of this whole wrench killing thing. Each one of these has 1 or 2 upgrade variations for the, I think that's combat tonics. So next we're going to talk about engineering tonics. Now, the first one is Vending Expert. This reduces the prices of consumables in the vending machines. Because death isn't a big deal due to Vita Chambers, and there's a much easier way to restore your health. Health stations, food on the ground, alcohol, smoking. I don't really recommend Vending Expert. It just seems like a waste. Next is Safe Cracker. This makes it easier when you're hacking things. There's like 2 fewer alarm and anti-hacking tiles with 1 fewer acceleration tile and 3 resistor tiles. Honestly, I didn't have much trouble hacking until the end of the game, so I didn't really add any hacking tonics. But if you want to get it through it faster, go ahead and use that, or just use auto hack, which is essentially all that. Next up is Shorten Alarms. This is fucking great. This tonic does exactly what it says. The length of security alarms drop by 20 seconds in the first tier. with the second tier dropping by 40 seconds. And if you played Bioshock, again, you know that annoying sound when those security bots are coming. Especially when they found you, it'll haunt your dreams forever. Anybody that's played Bioshock knows exactly what I'm talking about. That noise. I know you hear it in your head as you're listening to my talk. Next up is Focused Hacker. Again, this is the more upgraded version of Safecracker, but again, I didn't really find any problem hacking in my playthrough. So again, I avoided all that. Hacking Expert is another upgraded version. Alarm Expert is kind of the same as Hacking Expert. Again, these are all basically focused on hacking. But again, hacking's not that hard, so ignore these gene tonics unless you really want to add them. Speedy Hacker, this slows the speed of the water. I feel like this is good if you're having a lot of trouble hacking because the water's moving too fast, especially later in the game when like you can get kind of stuck at like certain points. Like I said, like the tiles start having like a lot of alarm bots and security bots. But again, I didn't really have too much trouble, and there's auto hacking again, so I'm just mentioning what's in the game. Prolific Inventor doubles the number of items produced from the U-Invent machine. I can see this being super useful. I would definitely add this on one of my playthroughs if I didn't find Prolific Inventor already, because I scavenge everything. Clever Inventor reduces the amount of each component needed to invent a new item by 1. Super useful if you love the crazy types of ammo in this game. I certainly love the crossbow and the grenade launcher, so I recommend it. Security Expert is basically all the hacking assists combined into one. Each of these also have 1 or 2 upgrade variations, so there's that. And then lastly, we have the physical tonics. Now, the first one is called Scounger. This allows players to research corpses and containers a second time. This allows players to search dead corpses, dead splicers, and containers a second time to get different loot. I found this somewhat useful, but it wasn't really worth the effort. Like, looking again, sometimes it was useful, but other times I got just like, whatever. I didn't really care. Didn't really notice much of a difference. Extra nutrition increases the amount of health gain from bandages, food, and drinks. Again, kind of useless when death isn't a big deal in this game due to Vita Chambers, and there's a bunch of food and drinks laying around all throughout Rapture. So again, I don't find anything related to food, anything related to health. I don't really find it unless try to do like a not die playthrough. Booze Hound allows you to replenish alcohol to this allows when you drink alcohol to replenish EV instead of draining it. Again, pretty useless because you can always find more EV hypos lying around. Funny though, it doesn't remove the funny drinking effect, so I still find that kind of funny. It's called Booze Hound. It's like, you make it seem like you can drink the booze and not have to get drunk, but I was like, you're still gonna get drunk. You just don't lose no EV for it. Security Invasion. This is kind of useful. I think I did equip this. The security bots and turrets take longer to spot you, so if you don't want to use or equip Electrobolt to pre-hack or like stun them down, this would help you like get closer to them and allow you to hack them before they register you as an enemy. They don't auto-register splicers as enemies. Hacker's Delight. After a successful hack, you are randomly rewarded with health and EV. Again, not a big deal. Bloodlust restores your health and EV with each wrench blow to an enemy. If you're doing the wrench playthrough, I recommend Bloodlust. That sounds like it just goes hand in hand with that. EV Saver, this is great to add in my next playthrough. It reduces the amount of EV needed when using a plasmid. I find that super helpful. I don't think I found that one, but that's definitely something that you'd want to have because using your plasmids are kind of the point of the game. EV Link, I think I did have this one equipped. Every time you use a first aid kit, you gain a bit of EV. I did have EV Link. I remember that in my playthrough. Next up is Sport Boost. This increases the player speed by 10 or 20% for tier 2, or 10% for the first tier, 20% for the second tier. I don't feel like I move slowly in the game, so I'm not sure I care about this one. I mean, you kind of walk, but again, no big deal. Next up is Medical Expert. This gives you 20 to 60% more health per first aid kit. That's pretty dope. I recommend it if you're doing a don't want to die playthrough. But again, Vita Chambers. That is not a big deal in Bioshock. And lastly is natural camouflage. This I never unlocked, but is a hella must. This is what I've been talking about. So this turns your character invisible for a period of time. You simply use your camera to reach level 2 of the Houdini Splicers. So take a bunch of pictures of Houdini Splicers. And then security bots cannot detect you, and you can easily sneak up on Splicers. That sounds so fucking cool. And my next playthrough, maybe if it's in Bioshock 2, because Bioshock 2, I'm gonna do it if this video blows up. I'm going to try to get natural camouflage. Anyways, that's all for this section. We'll move on to the next section right now. Alright, so let's talk about other game mechanics in Bioshock. There's health stations, security bots, shutdown panels, vita chambers, which equals dying. That's irrelevant. The Gatherer's Garden, gene banks, the U-Invent machine, and the Circus of Value. We're going to go through each of them and the reason why they're in the game and the mechanics that they hold, but those are just the titles. So, starting with healing stations. They're found all throughout Rapture and can be used to restore a bit of your health for $16. And when you hack them, you don't have to use Electro Bolt on these. These are one of the machines you don't have to use Electro Bolt on. When you hack them, it can be done for like $10. Those are useful if you're trying to do like a not die run, but again, dying in Bioshock isn't a big deal. Dying in Rapture isn't a big deal. You'll just be brought back to the nearest Vita Chamber you passed. Unless that Vita Chamber is way far away, then I understand you don't want to die. But I mean, yeah, dying's not a big deal. Like, you're the only one that gets back with all your health, all your energy, and you can just go back and fight the enemies that have the same amount of health. But also, if you destroy them, you can do this either by accident or on purpose. They'll give you like 1 or 2 health kits to carry with you. But there's also like food and like alcohol all throughout Bioshock. They all have like their effects that they'll add to using them as well. But like, it's not really a big deal because like anytime you're low on health, you might just eat some chips, you might eat some or drink some alcohol. Now, before I move on, speaking of health stations, splicers can use this. That's how good the AI is. Sometimes a splicer, after they've been taking damage and they ran away, they'll go to a healing station to heal themselves back up. So if you ever fought a splicer and then like, you know, you might have died or they might have ran away and you're wondering how to get their health back, they went to a health station. They also can like set up traps like a bomb when you go to try to use it to explode you and try to get like a quick kill on you. Pretty funny, but just again how smart the AI is. Now, speaking of healing, the consumption of alcohol will reduce your EV, but increase your health. And you got like this funny drinking effect where like it looks like Jack is going all dizzy and stuff. I think it's really funny. Again, not a big deal. While smoking has the opposite effect, it'll reduce your health, but increases your EV. And then you get like a small like smoke screen effect on the screen. It's something like they didn't have to win the game. And again, it's not gonna mess up your playthrough. Like, I'm the kind of guy that like grabs everything. I scavenge everything. I just take it. I don't like look at it. I don't read it. I'm just like, okay, I'll grab this and grab that. So I've had the drunken effect affect my health, affect my EV, increase my health, and I've had the smoking effect affect my health, increase my EV. But again, Bioshock, you're not really losing anything in this game. So scavenging everything, the way I recommend playing, exploring everything, it's not going to kill you to do that. But I do like those effects. I'll make sure I show those off. The drunk effect is more visible than the smoking effect, honestly. Next are security bot shutdowns. This is when you've been detected by a camera and now the bots are after you and they've been set out to like hunt you down. It only lasts for about 60 seconds and there are gene tonics that can make this shorter. But this is where you're going to hear that annoying woo, 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 and the noise that'll haunt your dreams, trust me. But you either have 1 minute to either run from these bots or shock them with Electro Bolt and then hack them. I recommend hacking them because, again, they can help with crowd control, they can help with splicers that you might not see coming, or just take down Big Daddies faster. The bots can be destroyed or deactivated anytime if you get annoyed with them, but again, nothing wrong with having something to help with crowd control. You can only show 1 or 2 bots at a time. I think 2 is the max, and then like, or you can have 1, but you can 2 is the max. That can probably do it at one time. The rest of them will just be deactivated. Even splicers can use security bots. There are certain splicers that have like, it's like a security bot plasmid or something like that, where like they have control of one. You'll see them. They're not a specific splicer type for that, but they are known to do it. But you can still just deactivate them and then hack them. Works the same way. Next, we have gene banks. All throughout Rapture, this is where you're going to swap out your gene tonics and your plasmids that you find, which are the powers you obtain, because you can only hold 6 plasmid powers at a time, 6 physical tonics, 6 engineering tonics, and 6 combat tonics, which you will be forced to go here and swap out when you want to try new things. I'm going to get more into that when we get into the... I'm not sure what section's coming first, but there's a whole section about the battle mechanics, and the gene tonics are all in there. But technically, you can have 18 tonics, gene tonics, attached to your body at one time. Some for combat, some for engineering, some for combat, engineering, and physical. And then you can have 6 of your plasma powers all at once. But if you want to swap them out beyond your 6 powers, you have to go to this gene bank and swap them out. Now, I've already talked about the tonics in the game so far in a separate section, but these are findable via map or exploring around. So anytime you can't find a gene tonic machine just by looking around, or gene bank machine, just open your map, it'll be right there. Think of it as like the Pokemon Center for the Pokemon computer, where you can only store 6 Pokemon in your team at one time, and the rest of them go to the PC. That's basically that. So it's basically the Pokemon mechanic. So anybody that's ever played Pokemon and you can only carry 6 Pokemon at once, the gene bank is basically what's it called, Bill's PC. I think something like that. Next, we have the Circus of Value. This is our vending machine for buying items like snacks, EV hypo, first aid kits, and various ammo that you'll want to use throughout the game. I recommend hacking these, as some items are locked behind a hack wall, but their items are also auto hack that can avoid hacking altogether. You can only carry 5 of these auto hacks at once. I didn't really even pay attention to the auto hack machines. I mean, I know at one point I couldn't carry anymore, but I never used them. But yeah, just press square if you want to auto hack and avoid the mini game. It's a very short mini game, pretty easy. And I think it's a fun probably talk about it in battle mechanics. I'm sure, because I don't think I've had. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talk about it in the battle mechanics. If not, I'll bring it up for sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll talk about it. But though you can only hold 5 auto hacks at one time, use them when you can, because you're going to find more. So yeah, the Circus of Value. And again, buying snacks and shit like that, I don't think it's necessary. Buy ammo, buy any unlockable plasmids. Well, no, I think the plasmids are strictly Gatherer's Garden. Whatever you get, if you need EV hypo, first aid kits, or that, get those. But don't waste your time buying snacks. You don't need those. You're gonna find those all throughout Rapture. Next, we have invent machines. These are machines that give you special ammo, as well as buy various other gene tonics of combat, engineering, and physical. So you can buy plasmids at Gatherer's Garden, but you can buy gene tonic specific ones from the invent machines, and you can buy all of the gene tonics because that's money wise. It's not based off atoms, so I recommend buying all of them. This is why you want to scavenge as much as possible from dead splicers, Big Daddy, and anything you can find in trash cans, on tables, on ground, because to craft these special bullets, I don't know all the special types. I know it's electric arrow, fire arrow, heat-seeking grenades. To get those to get the different kind of ammo you can get throughout the game, you have to explore, which is why, in my opinion, exploration is a must in this game. And again, like I said, there are certain diaries that you won't find following the story, or will help expand the lore. Do Atlas reveals early, Fontaine reveals, Ryan reveals, our character Jack reveals. Exploring around is a must in my opinion. But also, I don't know if I knew this my first playthrough or any of my other playthroughs, but this playthrough I learned you can swap between the special ammo by pressing the buttons on the directional pad. Literally Bioshock, a game that's over 20 years old, has so much that modern day gaming is missing these days. So I might not convince you to play it, but maybe others can. But this is just my opinion because I lose the game. And lastly, let's talk about the Gatherer's Garden. Unlike the other machines in Rapture, this one requires only Atom to use. It will not accept cash, it will not accept anything else. And you only get Atom by harvesting or saving the Little Sisters, which again, by the end of the game, the only difference comes out to about 100 Atom if you choose to save all 21 Little Sisters. But the problem is, there's not enough Atom in the game to unlock everything on one playthrough. So your choices need to be precise. I think I mentioned this before. Like, I went through this playthrough just buying everything with all my Adam because I was like, okay, I'll probably just get all my plasmid abilities and upgrades. No. So all of your plasmids can go up to like 3 upgrade levels. I'll talk about that in the battle section. But like, because like everything costs like different tiers of Adam, that's how you want to read everything that you want to use. Like, you will not be able to buy everything in one playthrough in the Gatherer's Garden. Even with the extra 100 max, you still won. So that's why I think, again, this game kind of inspires, like, play it again, give it another shot, try something else, try going something different. Maybe kill Senator Kohan the first time you see him, versus either not killing him or waiting till he gets back to his apartment. Maybe harvest our little sisters this time. I think Bioshock, while it only has, like, I think 2 different playthroughs, I think there's still a lot of exploration you can do. Especially, like I said, 122 diaries in this game, and I know I did not find out 122. Very fun. So anyways, let's move on to the next section. So let's talk about the Splicers and the different types there are. So the citizens of Rapture, because Splicers, after being exposed to a lot of Adam, had their genetic code altered in their appearance. Although they overconsumed it, this is also why they are so intent on getting their hands on Little Sisters. Little Sisters are like made up of Adam, and that's why the Splicers want it so badly. It's basically like a drug, like they're addicted to it. Splicers don't usually wear armor, but they do have increased physical strength and durability and are extremely aggressive, unlike Big Daddies. Big Daddies won't outright attack you if they see you. They'll only attack if you go near a Little Sister. Splicers is going to attack you on sight. Like, it's on sight for them. Sometimes you can find them wandering around or alone in sometimes you'll find them wandering around alone, or they'll be in groups. And some of them have plasmid-like powers, which are some of the Splicers we're going to talk about. Now, what I'm more impressed with is the AI of the Splicers in the game. Most AIs will continuously attack you as long as you're on sight, but these guys are much smarter. Sometimes they will play possum and pretend to be dead until you get close enough to you that they lunge up and to sneak attack you or surprise you. This got me a lot and was horrifying as a kid, because I remember there was like one level early, like, or maybe late in the game, but like, I was walking up on this corpse. Like, I knew I had killed like 4 Splicers, and I left the room and I turned around and there was 5 Splicers, and then all of a sudden, like, it jumps up and attacks me when I get close. I was like, it was so great. And so it makes you kind of paranoid to like start shooting Splicers, like corpses, when you're in a new area and they might already start taking damage. They must start screaming. There's this one level I'm gonna show you. It's really great about like where you're underwater, like not underwater, but like you're in like a room with like these like Houdini Splicers that like are pretending to be made of clay. It's in the Senator Kohan fight. Anyways, I'll just show it off so you guys can see it. But yeah, it's great. I really loved that because it was like, okay, that wasn't definitely there, and it adds like a horror factor. Like add the music from like Us, Jordan Peele's Us to that. The dun dun. Yeah, that would fit so perfect in that scene. Anyways, when they are on fire, like if you set them on fire, they will run to the nearest source of water and like basically try to save themselves. And they'll like not heal, but like their health will stop decreasing. Or if you like chasing them, they'll eventually run away and hide. And they're not gonna come back for like a minute. They're gonna wait to see if you come chase them. And I did this at first to like see if they would like, you know, how smart the AI was. They'll eventually come back and they'll keep shooting. But it's just like just shows how smart this AI is. I think they also do this when like they're getting attacked by bees. They'll run away and try to jump in water. I'm not sure. I think the fire is the only one that they try to put out. I don't think they do anything else like plasma power wise, but it still just shows how smart the AI is. So let's talk about the variation of splicers. The first type is the thuggish splicer. This is the most common one you'll see. They run into battle with melee weapons. Early on in the game, they either attack you solo or with a group. And late in the game, they have electric flesh, which means they basically are immune to like electrobolt, the electrobolt plasmid, and they're also are immune to static discharge. It like won't work on them. And I think their weapon is like a wrench or something, a pipe. I don't think they have like I don't think they have a wrench like that. I think it's like a pipe or something like that. Or sometimes it's like a gun. They'll just hit you with the butt of a gun. The next is the leadhead splicer. These guys are the ones holding various firearms and will attack you either with a pistol or a machine gun. These guys are more dangerous because they are long-range fighters. However, a great AI gimmick is unlike us, they have to like us, they have to reload their guns at some point. So they can run out of bullets. They are not like infinite bullet firers. Like they will eventually have to load their gun back up. Again, just such great world building to add in here. And these are the second most common, and it makes them vulnerable in those moments. They will also try to pistol whip you if you get too close, which I think is just really funny. Like, they're like, bitch, you know? The next is the spider splicer. This is the one that freaked me out the most as a kid. You will hear them crawling on the ceiling before you might actually spot them. They are known for throwing hooks at you from the top of the ceiling, which I just learned can be caught by telekinesis and fired back at them. I don't know why. I didn't use telekinesis much this gameplay, unless when I had to, story-driven wise. But hitting them even once will knock them off the ceiling and onto the ground. They will usually just jump back up to the ceiling to like keep fighting at a distance. They don't want to be up close and personal. But yeah, you'll see them, you'll hear them more than you'll see them in the game. Houdini splicers are annoying but cool. They have the ability to teleport a short distance, and it makes this blood splattering effect when they do. It's kind of like Nightcrawler. If Nightcrawler, when he appeared or like when disappeared, he like created like a cloud of blue smoke or something like that. Though you can predict where they will reappear because of the smoke effect that'll form. Their attacks usually consist of shooting fireballs of fire or ice, like Winter Blast or Incinerate. And if you're doing the Sander Cohen mission against the one that says the Iceman Cometh, I forgot his name. He basically has Winter Blast. And they will physically attack you if you're in close range. They're like the hit and run type enemy, which makes them super annoying. Like they'll hit you and then like they're gonna run away. They're not gonna stand there and like get hit like a Houdini, like a leadhead splicer or a thuggish splicer. Even spider splicers like flee away. They jump back to the ceiling after they get knocked down. And the last but not least is the Nitro Splicer. These are the ones who will try to attack you by throwing grenades and mocktail cocktails. Mocktail whatever. Mocktail cocktails, whatever. You know what I'm saying. If you get too close to them, they will drop a smoke bomb to blind you so that they can run away and get some distance. And if you pursue them, they will haphazardly toss them over their shoulders in hopes of taking you out. Upon their death, they will drop a live grenade in hopes of taking you out with them. So that's kind of a cool gimmick. And it reminds me of another one of the Sander Cohen people that were facing. Like, he'll toss bottles over his shoulders. But he'll also wait for you because, like, he obviously has to be killed. They are annoying as hell to fight, just like the Houdini splicers, because they run away. It's recommended to keep at a distance and use telekinesis to catch their weapons or grenades and their mocktail cocktails and toss it back at them. And then once they're down, don't go near them because there will be an active grenade. You also do want to go near them because you want to like run their pockets, everybody you kill. So that's all the splicer types. Let's briefly talk about the Diaries. Throughout Rapture, you can find these shiny glowing radios called Diaries. They are essentially lore and world building. Some are narrative driven, like you'll find them when you're like supposed to follow the main plot. Others expand more on the story, but they're hidden and they like hidden around Rapture in areas that like the main story won't take you to. You just have to be willing to explore. And they reveal the downfall of Andrew Ryan, the rise of Fontaine / Atlas, and even reveals about our main character Jack. And there is a whopping 122 diaries in the first game alone. That is insane. Now, I'm for sure I did not find all 122 diaries. You can also go back and replay the diaries at any point through the main menu. But and you can listen to them while you're running around. You don't have to like just sit there on the main menu or like stop what you're doing to listen to a diary unless you want to. But the best part about it is like even in combat, the diaries will still be playing. They don't pause the story at all, which is another great mechanic. Some stories or games they do pause the whole game to like basically explain things to you. Like if you don't listen to it, that's on you. But you're more than welcome to like go back through it in the main menu. I love that. However, if you think you missed something or just want to listen to them again, you can listen to these in the, you can find all the diaries you found in the areas you found them in the menu section. Like it separates the diaries that you found in each section, which is also very helpful. Like if you have a game guide and you want to go find a specific diary that you missed, that also helps you out. I highly recommend finding as many as you can and listening to them because it really helps expand the story and makes it feel more full. The devs put a lot of work into this game and it's just amazing. So definitely check them out. Give them a listen. I love listening to every diary I found. Even when I first initially played the game. Great game mechanics.
Another New Year's, another night alone. I'm out and you're stuck in Festus, working. Huh. Imagine my surprise. Oh, I guess I'll have another drink. Here's a toast to Diane McClintock, silliest girl in Rapture. Silly enough to fall in love with Andrew Ryan. Silly enough. What happened? I'm bleeding. Oh God. What's happening?
Big Daddies and the Little Sisters. Bioshock's moral dilemma. Let's talk about this game's karmic system in a bit more detail. It's very familiar if you played these games like Infamous, where your choices are either heroic or infamous. We just went over the Infamous games, and we know that the intended choice for Infamous was to be an evil character, because that's how you wanted Infamous 2 to end, and we would have got Infamous 3 instead of Infamous Second Son. But because the majority of players played Hero, he couldn't make the ending he wanted, so he kept Cole dead as to like not, open Infamous 3 with Cole being evil and you played Hero the whole time. So anyways, saving Little Sisters gets you closer to the good ending, and overall you're a hero to them. Whereas harvesting a Little Sister gets you closer to either the bad ending if you consume all of them, or the sad ending if you even consume one of them. Which, I'm not sure if the sad ending is still heroic, or if the sad ending can also just only be bad. I know, like, I think it's still bad. I don't know. It has like a sad undertone, basically. It's like the sad. I'll make sure I play all three during this, but you'll see. It has like a sad undertone to it. Anyways, if you do both, like I said, you get the sad ending. I remember my original playthrough, I was evil because I wanted the most Adam as possible. But once I saw the evil ending, I was like, ooh, yeah, no, I can't be left. I can't leave it like this.
They offered you everything, yes. And in return, you gave them what I have come to expect of you. Brutality. You took what you wanted. All the Adam, all the power. And the Rapture trembled. But in the end, even Rapture was not enough for you. Your father was terrified the world would try to steal the secrets of his city. But not you, for now you have stolen the terrible secrets of the world.
Little Sisters are made up of Adam. Though they look like monsters, many diaries reveal that they were once little girls who were taken from the home in Rapture and were genetically altered and mentally conditioned to collect Adam with syringes from dead corpses or splicers. I'm going to play this diary for you guys. You can listen for yourself.
Darling Masha, we don't know what has happened to you. Ryan's men have taken you away and said you are needed to save Rapture. Who needs a child to save a city? But I see these little girls crawling out of these vents, and I only wonder if you might one day crawl out of this vent and find this note. We look for you, but if you find this, come to us. It's a Fighting McDonald's in room number 7. The code to our room is 7533. We miss you, our darling child. We saw our Masha today. We barely recognize her. That's her, Sam said. You're crazy, I told him. That thing? That is our Masha? But he was right. She was drawing blood out of a corpse by Fontaine Fisheries. And then when she was done, she walked off hand in hand with one of those awful golems. Masha!
Little sisters have no offensive abilities, and therefore they always need to be protected by Big Daddy. Side note, if you ever see a Big Daddy without a little sister, before attacking them, because I've done it before so many times, I mean, there's no XP points in this game. So fighting a Big Daddy without a little sister, you're just kind of wasting your time. Same thing if the little sister escapes, but you're fighting the Big Daddy, stop. Because you want to only fight a Big Daddy when there's a little sister in the area. And when he's got a little sister with him. You can always find out if there's a little sister in the area by looking at the main menu, seeing how many missing little sisters you either save or harvest. Doing so will help you get that much closer to all 21 before the end of the game. You can get all 21 little sisters that you need to save or harvest. Otherwise, you're just fighting basically a pointless battle for no XP. I mean, you can get stuff to craft more use the U event to craft more bullets, more archetypes, more gene tonics and stuff like that. But honestly, it's better, like I said, to kill them or fight them while they have a little sister. It just makes it more worth it because you don't get experience points in this game. I mean, like I said, unless you just want a good fight. Follow Big Daddy without provoking one, and eventually he'll call one. Just follow him all the way to a pipe, and he'll bring out a little sister. Because, again, they're not like Splicers. They're not going to attack you on sight. They're only going to attack you if you come near them while a little sister is next to them. Because, obviously, their whole job is protecting little sisters, and they know that you, along with all the Splicers, want their Adam. Adam is the life of Rapture. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. Problem is, you have to go through a Big Daddy to get to a little sister, and these things are no joke. Their footsteps literally quake the ground and make you think there's a sea quake. They have a drill-like arm that can shred any Splicer or our main character Jack in seconds. Again, if you guys like this video, I'll do Bioshock 2. I'll try to make it more detailed and better than this. But again, like I said, Bioshock, it doesn't really have a story. It has a story, but it's more about ideologies with a story mixed in. Their bodies are heavily durable, and they are like a tank. They can take a lot of damage. While they don't have plasmids, they don't need them. Like, these guys are going to survive a fight longer than you will. They are bullet sponges, and they can even dish out more damage than you, especially early on in the game. So you want to add as many gene tonics to your body as you can. Electric Flesh is easily one of the best ones because Big Daddies usually attack up close and personal, and at least they'll get shocked. Taking photos of them with camera do reveal some of their weaknesses to take them down faster, but even then you're still in for a tough fight. But don't worry, if you die, Jack will just be brought back by the nearest Vita chamber, as we've already explained in the story, and you can get right back into that fight, and that Big Daddy will still have the same health and damage it took. Now, even if you want to refuse to fight the Big Daddies and try to ignore the little sisters, there are always 3 narrative ones that you have to make a choice with. The first one, early in the game, you don't fight a Big Daddy, but it's to teach you about saving a little sister or harvesting them. The second one comes almost automatically. That's because it wants you to fight a Big Daddy, it wants you to take down a Big Daddy, and then it forces you again to make this choice, save a little sister or harvest one. And then the last one towards the end of the game is also narrative driven, that you must fight a Big Daddy and then save her or harvest her. This is how the game determines what ending you get. If you consume all 3 little sisters, you're going to get the bad ending, which will give you this. And then if you can save all 3 little sisters, you get the good ending, which we've already played, but it gives you this.
They offered you this city. And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you. You saved them. You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
This. And then, if you save a little sister, but harvest another little sister, you get the final and sad ending, this one.
They offered you everything, yes. And in return, you gave them what you always did. Brutality. You took what you wanted. All the atom, all the power. And Rapture trembled. But in the end, even Rapture was not enough for you. Your father was terrified that the world would try to steal the secrets of his city. For you now have stolen the terrible secrets of the world.
Now, the reason the choice exists is because depending on if you harvest or again, if you harvest or you get the... So, the reason for the whole choice is because you get the most Adam by harvesting the little sisters. Like, you get the most. But if you save them, you get less Adam, but every 6 gifts or so, you're given, like, a gift that makes up for the lost Adam. And ultimately, the difference by the end of the game is like 100 Atoms, so you won't really... You're not missing much. But also, keep this in mind. Even if you get all the Adam harvesting or saving little sisters and only getting 100 less, by the end of the game in one playthrough, you're not going to be able to unlock everything in Gatherer's Garden. It's not possible. Gatherer's Garden, because it only takes Adam, you have to choose carefully what you want to buy. Don't just go buying things like random, like I did my playthrough. Read what you want to get and, use that for this playthrough. I think that's why they made Bioshock so replayable, so fun, because then you can try out other things your next playthrough. The Big Daddy's main role is to protect the little sister, and since there's no experience point system, like I said, you want to rely on waiting them to retrieve a little sister to make your fight worth it. Otherwise, you're just scavenging. And these two characters are the icons of Bioshock. One of the main reasons this game is so memorable to begin with. Like, when you think of Bioshock, you think of the Big Daddy, you think of the little sisters over the gameplay. I'm very happy to play this game again after such a long time. It brought back so many great memories, and this video gets enough likes. Like I said, I will do Bioshock 2 playthrough for you guys. For now, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day. This was such a fun video to record. I know I seemed like I was all over the place. I was kind of sick the early days of recording this, and so I was trying to improv, also go through my notes. But I should have just went through my notes because I should have known, like, while I'm sick, I should have improved. But either way, I still had so much fun. This probably might not be out exactly on Thanksgiving, but I'm going to try to have it out by Thanksgiving. Latest December 1st. The latest. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, guys. This video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home, seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.